in your opinion, what are the key skills and competencies that leaders should possess to create a thriving organizational culture?
Thriving organizational culture. Well, first of all, to be truly an active listener, to really hear what you're being told. You can listen, but not actively listening. You can be one who listens, waiting to respond to what's being said. So that is a skill. Active listening has quite the currency. People don't realize how important it is. And not just for managers, for people in general, but as a leader, you must have active listening. Do not make assumptions either. So to be totally receptive to what's being told to you and not assume, to really understand that. Also to see that you don't, and that's from my training in leadership in my military life at one point. You don't know anything, and know that you don't know anything, and it's okay. And find out who in the organization knows about it, knows something about it, and get and seek their advice. It doesn't matter what level they are. So know who's in your organization, know who knows what in order to accomplish the mission, because you cannot do it all. So a lot of times there's this perception, because I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I know everything. No, you don't. And that's the first thing. It's another competency that that will really help having a thriving organization. What was the question again? I'm not answering it.
That's okay. You did answer it. I'll repeat it though if you have more to add. So it's like, in your opinion, what are the key skills and competencies that leaders should possess to create a thriving organizational culture?
Okay. Well, to understand to really understand what diversity is. Diversity is not just about the different ethnicity and so on. Diversity in your people. It's like I give that analogy when I used to give workshops on diversity. You can be a parent, you have 3 or 4 different children, came from the same parents. You don't necessarily parent them the same way because they are different. Not one is better than the other, but understanding the diversity in your organization and respect it, and also take it in consideration when they want to approach or bring things forward, to understand who the audience is. I say audience, because you might have passed on a message to your employees, but if you don't understand who you are, who you have in the audience, your message might not be transmitted as accurately as you might think, and that may cause a dissension in the ranks. So that's it sounds something simplistic, but it's something to that has a lot of weight and a lot of importance. We don't realize that, but it is. How often there is misunderstanding because the message was not conveyed as we thought, because we didn't realize who was in the audience or what the perspectives were. So that to be aware of that, and like I say, find out who knows what, because somebody could save the organization or make it thrive even more. But if you don't ask, if you don't seek and really be open, like I said, be like a vessel, to be really open and not have filters. Be aware of your filters as well, because we have filters. So be aware of that so you don't have unconscious bias as well. So those are It's not easy. We're human beings, but that is something that definitely they need to be aware of. They don't have to be perfect about everything all the time, but definitely have an understanding of that.
My grandma had 15 kids, and her wisdom about children was very simple. I remember my father saying this. I never heard her say it, but he says they're all different. We need each other, and we need to be aware that not everybody's going to receive stuff the same way. So the next question is, what do you think is the ideal duration for a comprehensive course on transforming workplace culture, leadership, or both?
Wow. Of course, I would thought. Hmm. I definitely I don't believe in crash courses.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through many of those, or I was instructed to create crash courses. There's not enough time to really absorb and have the application of the knowledge, and it's forgotten very quickly after that. They might
Mm-hmm.
have some nuggets, but that didn't really make the impact that you would want. I don't think so. I've lengthwise, I don't know for lengthwise, but definitely what I see, especially we're talking about adult education. It's my background. You want the learner wants to know why they're learning it. They want to be part of the learning experience. They want immediacy of an application, so they have to have the opportunity to apply what they're learning. So it's not definitely you do not want a course where you just talk at them.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work. It's a download of information. So whatever course is created we would not want that kind of a format. So now the
Right.
length. I've seen many, there's many leadership courses. Some are a longer period of time, but not full time. And I've seen leadership courses that go over a year,
Mm-hmm.
uh, part time, a few hours a week or so on. Um, that's a good question. I've never been asked that, and I'm trying to think what would be if I were to have one. Definitely, it might not be the ideal one,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely I would like to have at least a week and away from the workplace so they can focus on what they're learning
Mm-hmm.
and also give it activities where they can um, put in practice what they're learning. So whatever they're learning, it's not just the information, take your notes and download. It's to have a simulation or the opportunity to apply what was learned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about a week, but an intensive week.
It was just a PR expense, not a human resources development activity. Because if nobody developed, if nobody grew, then that's all it was. Is it was
And you have
taking
to
care of some PR thing.
exactly. It's just a check mark and the application. And I say 12 months exactly because they're in the field, they apply it in the workplace back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
What happens and what I've experienced, and that is why I'm going, what's the ideal time? Because I've seen different length, is that also organizations are not always willing to invest the time to let the employees get the training and really have wholesome training where they can apply it. So when they come back, they are transformed and they can apply it. It's not just a matter of downloading information because I have binders that, I realize, oh my gosh, I forgot I took this course. What was in that? And it's the lack of willingness to invest because often it's time away from the workplace. How long can we afford to have this person go?
Right.
That is one of the obstacles.
Well, and that to me is an investment a company either chooses to make because it always has, or
Mhm.
virtually always, according to the research, probably always, has a really good ROI as long as the training, simply put, doesn't suck and does actually teach people how to use it, and that they do get that feedback. And that,
Exactly.
again, we get the buy-in we're talking about.
Exactly. And then it's like the ROI, what are they going to bring back? What are they going to apply? It's not just the information consumption. There
Yeah.
is an application to it. And that's the big element, the application to it of
Yeah.
what's learned. And that's what makes the difference. And that's what makes it contributes to the transformation, because they come back and they apply the skills and the tools that they've learned.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
the organization is serious about that, they will let the employee come back and do so.
It was actually Adam Grant's most recent book. He's an organizational psychologist, and he talked about, on average, the data is showing it usually takes 6 or 7 times that something is applied before people are actually reach any reasonable level of competence.